Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We are going to talk about XRP. And I got to start with this from Alex Cobb. Prepare for the bounce. He says it multiple times. Everybody's expecting a massive bounce back now that we dipped down so low. But like I always tell you, prepare also even if we go lower. Expect it to happen. And if it doesn't happen, great. But you know, I always say prepare in my thumbnails. And people right away in the comment section say, I've been prepared for years now. I've been ready for years. But are you actually prepared? What I mean by prepared is this: having a game plan for what comes next. If we have a massive run-up and you plan to take profits, prepare to continue to put your money to work for you. I still don't think cashing out into US dollars is a good idea. Cashing out into gold and silver, maybe, that would be a great idea. Or if the real estate bubble pops, cash out money and get into real estate or something else that can continue to generate money and passive income for you. That's what I mean when I say prepare. Not just holding XRP, not just waiting for XRP to take off, but having a game plan put in place. Bank for International Settlements approves a decision on cryptocurrencies. So it looks like they want to now have a framework for banks to have exposure to cryptocurrencies. And they plan to have this put in place by early 2026. I think the banks are eager to get involved with crypto, but they have to have a way to get value from crypto. You can't have crypto sitting on your balance sheet and not be able to use it, is what I'm saying. That's why regulations are so important going forward. It'll bring the banks on board to crypto. The big financial institutions, the big corporations will get involved. And that's the path forward to mass adoption. But it's nice to see, once again, the BIS putting this in place now. Ripple now allows developers test XRP payments in real time without real funds. So think about it like this. They have a try it feature. So companies and banks can try the Ripple technology even before they buy it. And I like the idea of that because that shows the strength of this technology. If Ripple is giving you the option to just try it out, you know it's game-changing technology. And that's why I always said, you know, when you're investing in XRP, you are investing in the future. Wholly irrelevant. SEC hits back at Ripple. The SEC says that the part of the Binance ruling cited by Ripple is completely irrelevant. I think what's going on here is this. The SEC is still trying to delay the inevitable. They want to try to hold this case up as long as they possibly can. They got to keep Ripple slowed down as long as they possibly can. But I hope this judge just comes out already and makes a decision on this. Get this case wrapped up so we can all move forward. Ripple partner Volante discusses payments as a service, where the industry is, and the next step for financial institutions looking to modernize. The future is payments as a service, and the product and delivery mechanism must be outsourced, leaving banks to focus on banking, assured that their infrastructure upgrades and maintenance are well looked after. You know, everybody always said the banks are going to come up with their own, you know, service, their own Ripple alternative or their own XRP alternative. But that's not what banks do. Banks focus on doing what banks do. The technology and the infrastructure that they use, they want to outsource that to someone else. That's why you'll see Ripple become more and more involved with more and more banks as we push ahead. And if not directly, through partners of Ripple, like Volante, that utilizes the Ripple technology, utilizes XRP for on-demand liquidity. Ripple is running trials with NASDAQ. Take a listen.
And, this guy sells it to that guy. That's essentially, what the stock exchange does. So if you can have a common ledger to be able to exchange those IOUs at, then that certainly makes sense. And there's examples of Korean banks partnering with local, Bitcoin companies for the settlement. People like the IMF or World Bank or these kind of people are always talking about these sort of blockchain settlement systems. NASDAQ is involved in I think, doing some trials with Ripple as well. So
take notice how he said in thinking that they're doing some trials with Ripple as well. It's because he knows those trials have been going on for a while now. In the background, while all of retail is focused on the price of XRP, building is still happening. Rails are still getting put in place. Everything that we see is very small compared to how big this actually is. And think of all those NDAs as well. This comes from Mr. Mann. IMF World Bank suggests that the new Bretton Woods is needed for digital finance, DeFi, crypto assets, and CBDCs. Smoke told you that the FASB is allowing for the fair market value of crypto assets to exist on a balance sheet, and that the path ahead is going to be bumpy in 2025. Get ready. Like I said, if they have that value on their balance sheet, it allows them to utilize that value. It's the same reason that I never seen any value in those ETFs, because they already said that it has no value. So you can't borrow against it or lend it out. Once you have a value on the balance sheet, banks will want to get involved with that time and time again. Companies will get involved with crypto time and time again because they can leverage it. Just in, regulators are deliberately debanking the crypto industry, says former Obama Solicitor General. Despite the digital asset industry's pressing need for banking services, federal regulators have waged a coordinated campaign to debank the industry. This is like that Operation Choke Point 2.0. They just want to hold crypto back as long as they can. Because in Washington, all these politicians, all these agencies, they're all tied to the big banks. So they're getting phone calls from these big bankers saying, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. You need to keep holding this back as long as you possibly can. But eventually, crypto is going to push ahead one way or another. And any bank that doesn't like it will just get left behind as well. Discover how Zan Wallet is revolutionizing the XRP ledger ecosystem. Now look at what they say about e-commerce here. We are actively exploring integrations allowing Zan to be used in e-commerce settings. This would potentially look like a seamless payment gateway for online stores, enabling quick and secure transactions directly from the Zan Wallet. Reducing fees and increasing transaction speed would benefit both merchants and customers. Future plans expand into e-commerce with seamless payment solutions. I really like the idea of that. Like I said, at some point, you will be able to go from your digital wallet to the merchant with no one in between. And I really think that time is coming. I think we're very close to that because we see all these companies pushing for that because that is mass adoption. Vietnam introduces mandatory facial recognition for digital payments above $390. So here we go with the facial recognition. Digital IDs as well will be coming. And you know, this is what everybody is going to have in order to use the new financial system. You already see it pushing in that direction. And it looks like the UK is done. Breaking: World Economic Forum puppet gets blown out by World Economic Forum puppet. I guess Sunak was not pushing the Great Reset hard enough. So now they brought in Stormer to replace him. But you know, this is not looking good for the UK going forward. And you know, that's what their end game is of the World Economic Forum. It's the Great Reset. Just in, nearly 3/4 of the jobs added last month came from government. Take a listen to this.
74% of the jobs came from government and healthcare and education. So that's where the bulk of the jobs are.
Okay.
The rest of the jobs not doing quite so well. Leisure and hospitality, which have been a big source of job growth, just 7,000. Retail, we'd had some strength there, down 8,500. And then temporary help, which is a potential leading sign, minus 48,000. So you have this kind of dual sector economy. By the way, it's not the federal government. A lot of it is local government jobs. They seem to be still hiring in those places or those municipalities. And it's the hospitals up 22,000. So that's where a lot of the job growth is coming from.
So think about it. And they're absolutely right. Fake jobs, fake economy, fake president. Everything in this country is fake at this point. And the reason that they keep coming out with these massive job numbers is because it's an election year. The worst thing about the U.S. in election years is we get filled with false promises and we get all kinds of bullshit numbers. Like inflation is coming down. This is coming down. Things are getting better. The economy is looking better. But we all know better because we're the ones going to the grocery store. We're the ones traveling, buying gas. We're the ones, you know, where your electric bill keeps going up and other bills keep going up at the same time. Nothing seems to be coming down. In fact, things are shrinking and the prices are staying the same. But you know, this happens every single election year. The problems that are really out there, I think, are going to really come to the surface once the election is over. Then all of a sudden, we're going to get the true numbers. We're going to find out that inflation is only going to get worse as we push ahead. But you know, this is the same reason that I'm always telling people, not only in crypto to stay invested, but people outside of crypto to get invested. You got to fight back against this while you still can. You got to put your money to work for you, or you're just going to fall victim into the UBI system that will come next. Once everything comes collapsing down and inflation starts to continue upward, they need a solution for it. It's going to come in the form of universal basic income. It's the same reason you see them testing it out in this state and that state. They're not testing it for no reason. They plan on implementing it at some point. It's the same reason I always tell you that the banks are not safe. If the FDIC is talking about bail-ins, that's because they're already planning for bail-ins to happen. It's all common sense stuff. If you see them talking about it, you know it's coming. But it is true. Everything in this country right now seems to be all bullshit and fake. And you know, nothing seems to be getting better. I just cannot wait for the crypto space to turn around. I am waiting for crypto to start taking off. That's going to be a very exciting time. But at the same time that we're watching crypto run up, you still got to keep an eye on everything else that's happening at the same time, because as fast as crypto starts running, a black swan could show up out of nowhere. And all of a sudden we come collapsing back down. So that's why I always tell you, pay attention to real world events when you're a crypto investor. But you know, until it all happens, you gotta stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.